what I want to do the first thing is I want Rashard and Mike to introduce themselves, where they're from, what years they played, and kind of go from there. And then I'll ask the guys who are kind of planning to do the same. So let's start off with let's go with Mike since you're the oldest. Mike, what years did you play here? And tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll start out with you, Mike, and just kind of introduce yourself, where you're from, what years you played here, and we'll kind of go from there, and we'll go around the deal.
Yes, sir. My name is Michael Hunter. Like Coach Shelby said, I was at IU from 2011 to 14 was my last year. Born and raised in Monroe, Louisiana, and now I'm married. Just had my second kid. She's 4 months. I got another kid that's about to be 2, so I got 2 under 2. So it's never a dull moment in this household. So, but honestly, that's basically me in a nutshell. Been in the NFL the last 5 years, and like I said, blessed to be a part of this group and a part of this great university.
My name Fant.
Well, yeah, Rashard Fant. I know all three of you. Taiwan, from when you were getting recruited, Reese. You know, I came to some games. I saw you, and of course, Jalen. Well, I graduated 2017 was my last year. Came in 2013. Mike had 2 years left when I got there. I'm married now. No kids yet, just a dog, and that's really about it. So, I mean, I'm still close with Mike, still close with Tim and all the guys that were there with me. Raheem's the last one that I played with, actually, in the cornerback room, unless there's somebody else I could think of, but I think Raheem, that's it. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Well, good deal, good deal. And now let's start off with the 2 old guys and to the young guys. Let's start off with Jalen. With you, where you're from, and kind of go from there. And then we'll go to Reese, and then the young cat, Taiwan.
Jalen Williams. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Play corner, and I already know Rashard and all that. Basically, when I first came on recruiting visit, everybody was calling me Fant, little Fant, all that. And I don't really know Mike, but yeah, I heard about you and all the things you did. So just a blessing to be here. You know what I'm saying? So.
I'm Reese Taylor. I play corner, number 2. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. Yeah, I know Fant, but I really don't know much about Mike, but I'll try to hear more.
You'll meet Taiwan,
bro.
I'm Mullen, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I met Fant, but I don't know much of Mike. You know, I like to get to know you, Mike, and I'm open ears to what you got to say.
Okay. Well, good deal. Well, that's a good introduction. And, of course, you guys all know me. And the great thing, like I said, I recruited each and every one of you guys. And so it's a great honor to kind of to see you guys and see you guys grow. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to let you guys open up for some questions. I got a couple questions written down that if it gets kind of in the law, I can help you guys out. But let's go with some of you guys, some of the questions you guys want to ask those guys about anything, college, NFL, transition. I'll let you guys go and kind of open the door and open communication.
I just want to know how y'all deal with Coach Shelby, because he is a character.
Okay.
You got it first, little bro.
I mean, shoot, I had probably 3 different Coach Shelbys. I had the one when I first got there who was still young, single, and he was on us a lot. Like, I mean, heavy. Going off on us in the meeting room. We had a lot of knuckleheads in our meeting room, as Mike knows already. So, I mean, that was one Coach Shelby. Then I had the one where he was kind of not as bad, but getting after you. Then I had the third Coach Shelby who had a kid and then had a wife and got all lovey-dovey. And, like, I love you. I'm always here for you, man. You know, anything you need. And he started giving me words of wisdom every day. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. But, you know, he always going to be joking in the meeting room, but then, you know, he always got that couple days out the year where he on edge, especially during the season, you know, right before game day. I don't know how he is now with y'all, but a couple days leading up before game day, but probably usually Wednesday, Thursday practice, he on one. I mean, he kind of annoying, no offense, Coach, but you be like, Coach, I'm good, I'm gonna be ready to go for the game, but he just like, I'm making sure you're ready. And then, I mean, the biggest thing, I guess, for me, and what I always remember is, you know, every day, and he probably still tell y'all this on game day, he'd look at you I can tell in your eyes if you're ready or not. And you'd be like, what? And so for me, I can remember one game, he's like, I can tell in your eyes you're not ready. We played Penn State. I'm like, what you talking about, coach? He's like, you're not ready. I'm like, all right. And then I went out there, had one of my best games. We didn't get the W, sadly, but I was looking, I'm like, so your theory's wrong. You can't look in my eyes. So no, but to him, he could tell if you're ready or not. So, I mean, he's funny. Y'all definitely, y'all got the good Coach Shelby. Like, man, young Coach Shelby, he was young and he was fiery all the time. And Mike had it a little bit worse than me because he got there the same time as Coach Shelby. But it was fun. And we really, I mean, all the guys, the one thing he always preached on was brotherhood, staying together, looking out for each other. And that's still to this day with Mike and Tim Bennett being like my big brothers. When I was there with them, and then even after they graduated, always checking in on me.
Right there.
Yeah, similar to what Fant said, man. We had young Coach Shelby, single, so he was fiery, but man, we knew it was all love, like Fant said. But man, we had a room full of knuckleheads. Honestly, when I first got the IU, they were good dudes, but man, it was a lot going on. It's 40,000 students at IU, like y'all know, it's a lot to get into, and man, he was trying to be the father away from home, honestly, that some of us had and some of us didn't. But at the end of the day, we all knew it was love. Man, he was there for us not only on the football field, but in life, in the classroom. He stayed on top of us. Not saying everybody liked him. Myself, some days I was like, man, Coach Shelby getting on my nerves. But honestly, everybody say he used to baby me. They say I was his child of the room.
He the favorite, y'all.
Yeah, they called me the favorite, but I didn't see it that way. I feel like he was just as hard on me as he was the rest of them. But I just try to do things the right way, so I wouldn't give him a reason to get on me, honestly. But man, as long as you do things the right way, listen, man. Like Coach said, LEO. I had no clue what that means, but man, that's a great topic in saying that Coach Allen and the rest of the organization came up with, man. That's one thing I can say about Coach Shelby, man. He always showed love for us, even to this day. I just got married 2-3 years ago, and he sent me a gift. like what coach you know? I ain't seen Coach in probably 5-6 years, but man, he still think enough of me to know when I got married to just send me a gift of affection. So I appreciate it, Coach, all you done for us. And man, like I said, even though he gonna get on you, that's Coach Shelby. He gonna fuss at you, but at the end of the day, it's all love.
What's the biggest transition from college football to the NFL football?
Really, the biggest transition is the business aspect of it. Being myself, I wasn't a high draft pick. Honestly, I was undrafted, so I had to get it out the mud. I basically came in, got a decent signing bonus, so they invested in me a little. But at the end of the day, I had no guarantees that I was gonna make the team the first year, so I had to work my way up from the bottom of the depth chart. Couldn't take anything personal. Just like college, the coach is gonna get on you. They're gonna expect you to be the means on time, and it ain't gonna be no running stadiums or going to the weight room and doing a few crunches. You getting about a $15,000 fine in your locker, so you gonna have some incentive to get the means on time. But man, it was, like I said, the transition practice actually is a little easier than college. But it's like I said, it's all business. The few plays as a rookie, you got to make the most of it. To climb your way up the depth chart. Once the coaches trust you, it's only popping from the end, and you start getting that real paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I agree with Mike, and mine's a little different because I got injured, but it really, the business aspect is big. I mean, that was huge for my injury, going into camp and playing well and getting moved to getting 2 reps with the nickel and then being injured. And, you know, coaches were really high on me. And then after about a month of me being injured, it was kind of like, hey, man, you got to get on to the next. Like, you got to get healthy. So, I mean, you got to understand they invested in you, but also they got to win games or it's their job, their livelihood. And then the next thing is something which I was thankful enough, one of my friends told me, is it's a man's league, a grown man's league. Those are men in there, man. Their body's different. They play different. And when they get on that field, like, you know, right now it's cool. You're going against guys who in practice and in the game that are good, but some of them, they don't understand truly yet. Like, it's a different level they reach to. Not only are bodies built differently, but a lot of guys got a different mindset. The elite guys, you can tell it's like, hey, I got to feed my family. And then, yeah, like Mike said, you start from the bottom, man. I mean, luckily for me, my last year in college, Coach Allen was my head coach for the first year, and he was real big on starters and best players playing special teams. So I was on 3 special teams, but a lot of guys when I got to the Bears were, hey, I ain't never played special teams. I'm too good for special teams. But at the end of the day, that's the best way to make the roster and also get on the field. I mean, and I had a good mentor for me when I first got there. His name's Sherrick McManus, and he was cool. He'd been in the league 10, 11 years, special teams killer. And has only played on, he's like the 3rd DB if, you know, people get injured, but all special teams, and he kills it that way. So, I mean, focusing on that and understanding that can help you and take you a long way.
How is the meeting rooms? Are they different or are they the same between the two?
I feel like it's about the team you get. I'll say my meeting room with the Bears was funny. Like, we knew when to be serious, especially defensive meetings. But we had Vic Fangio, who's head coach of the Broncos now. He was a chill guy. We had a veteran defense who was great in that year. My first year, best defense in the NFL, and they were chill. I mean, they making jokes, they acting silly. Like, you know, you got guys 28-year-olds making jokes. Everybody was a kid, but when it's time to handle business, when it's time to get on the field, I mean, they was ready to go. So meetings were cool. Now, if you messed up, like anything, they got in your butt, whether you was a rookie or whether you was a 10-year vet. They expected a lot out of you. And a lot of good thing is the older guys and the vets held you accountable. And a lot of times it got fixed on the field, and sometimes if it get fixed on the field and the coaches know that, they won't even bring it up. They just may be like, you know, we talked about this, you remember that. So, I mean, that was the biggest thing for me, though. But I enjoyed the meetings. I mean, it was different for rookies because we was, like, learning so much so fast. So we was tuned in. We were tired. The vets kind of were at first like, man, we got to learn this again because we started from the basics and they had to be in there. So they made a lot of jokes. They watched a lot of the rookies film from rookie camp. And it would be funny because they'd be like, dog, y'all see that dude? Or, Fant, what was you doing right there? So it was all fun and cool. And you can ask them any question and they'll look out for you. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a great meeting room with the Bears.
Yeah, I agree with Fant on that. It really depends on the organization because with the Giants, and we had our corners coach in DC, Coach Spagnolia, and Coach Tim Wong was my corners coach. He really reminded me a lot of Coach Shelby that he was big on more so really making us better men. So, man, most days we'll come in there and learn the football, but, man, 1 or 2 days out the week, man, we weren't even looking at no chalk talk. We was in there just talking life and trying to, hey, what good ways to invest your money, how to basically take care of your family, how to stay out of trouble. So, like I said, it really was based on the organization. I've had the privilege of paying for about 4 or 5 organizations over the last 5 years. And shoot, for instance, when I got to the Texans, it was completely different. We was in there, it was all chalk talk. It wasn't you in there from, if it's a 2-hour meeting, you're talking about football for 2 hours. So, like Fant said, it's based on the organization, the way they run it, the way the head coach run it, and basically just fit in line and whatever they want you to do and however it's ran, just adjust to it and make the most of it.
So like with the playbook and stuff, like what was the adjustment like with the playbook?
I had the luxury of I played for probably one of the most complex defenses. So I had to learn the Bears defense, and we have a lot of moving parts. But also Coach Allen's defense that you all run, and I know some things have changed a little bit, but a lot of it translated to the Bears. And the fact that Coach Allen let me play in the nickel some, and I was outside, and Coach Shelby made sure I knew everything on nickel and corner and what the safeties had to do. So when I got to the Bears, it was just more like, you know, catching up on the field. Especially for me, I tore my pec at the combine. So when I got there, I wasn't allowed to do on-field drills doing OTAs. So everything was in the classroom, watching, like studying. So for me, it translated easy. And I had a harder job because I had to learn nickel and corner. And like for the Bears defense, corner is pretty easy. Nickel, we had so many moving parts. Like you got certain plays you got to run, certain plays you got to stay, certain plays you got to bump. We had plays where the nickel will actually go to safety and the safeties will rotate down and the backside safety will become the nickel. So it got real complex. And for me, I understood it on paper, but then I remember my first day on the field, everything was moving so fast, man. You got the quarterback changing stuff. He taking his time. I'm out there with, you know, vets that have been playing so they understand everything. And that's offensive vets too, and they understand where I'm lining up. So it was complex, but the thing is the coaches, you got so much meeting time, and Mike knows, man, we need a lot in the league. Like you need a lot in college too, but the league is really like, you practice, but meetings are so big. Especially in the off season because we have a lot of, OTAs where it's just working out and then meeting or working out, walk during meeting. So I'll say it's just like coming from high school to college, it's a little bit of a challenge, but if you stay in it, get around the right people, ask for help, which I did plenty of times in the meeting room, and get, watch the people in front of you, which is big. And I know coaches preach for you all. It's not that bad at all.
Yeah, I agree with Fant. Honestly, like, corner in the league, they try to make it real simple because you playing against, the best athletes in the world, honestly. So cover 3 is cover 3, cover 1 gonna be cover 1, but they expect you to go out there and do your job at a high level because they know you seeing Odells and Julios week in and week out. But the like Fant said, man, but the nickels and safeties, that's when you learn in those positions, it's a different level. You got to know when to bump, when to come down, if you blitzing the B gap, if you run gap the B gap or the C gap or the D gap. So it's a lot into it, and it's some complex playbooks like Fant said. They the real deal, but like you said, it's so much. It ain't no class. You ain't going to no algebra or whatever y'all doing in college now. It ain't no class. It's gonna be probably 8 hours of meetings and about an hour and a half of practice. So you're going to learn the playbook. So, but just make sure you're in there paying attention, not dozing off. Because like Fant said, once you get on the field and them bullets start flying, it's going to get real. And you might think you know it, and you don't know it, honestly.
Yeah.
When that slot go in motion and you just standing there and you're supposed to be running. And the coach pulling you out quick as you walked on that field. So, honestly, like you said, man, just getting the playbook. And like I said, if you in college and all y'all smart kids, so it'll be nothing. It'll be your job at that point.
Yeah, and all 3 of y'all athletes. So, like, if y'all make it to the league, y'all are going to play some nickel because y'all going to be the best athletes coming out. And I'll say one thing that's big, which thankfully I knew, and that's Coach Shelby preaching it to me since I was a freshman, and Mike knows. But when you get to the league, and especially you playing nickel, you got to know shades. You got to know A-B gap. You got to know, is it 3 technique right there? The 9 or 6, like which way is the English shade? Like it's a lot of different, like you think the D-line, and I know Coach Allen already preaches that because it was big when I was there. But you got to understand that front if you go play some nickel too, because you're going to be in a lot of run fits. It's going to be blitzes certain ways. And then it gets more advanced where you got to read the end. And I know a lot of times as corners, we don't have to do that in the defense. The backer may have to do that, but in the league, at that nickel spot, you do a lot of that. You really become a backer, safety, and a corner all in one.
Going through adversity in life, like how did y'all manage to accomplish that? Like any adversity y'all went through in life?
Honestly, I was blessed. My dad, he's been basically a mentor for me my entire life. So he's always been around. Whenever I went through something, I always leaned on him. Or whenever I was struggling, I'd give him a call and try to. I know he ain't gonna tell me to quit. He's gonna find a way to get through whatever I'm going through. So honestly, my advice for it is just try to find somebody in your corner that you know gonna keep it real with you. They might tell you what you don't want to hear, but it could be the right thing to get you where you're trying to get. So it could be your brother, your sister, your mom, somebody you know that's gonna keep it real with you. And like I said, help you find a way to get through whatever you're going through.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Mike. Same thing, and obviously keeping good people around you, which is similar. I got great friends that's helped me through tough times, great coaches. Me and Coach Shelby used to have meetings anytime I wanted to go up there, just talk about what's going on, whether it was school, family life, football. And I think also for me is to never get too high, never get too low. That's one of the biggest things because that's corner. I mean, even if you don't get beat much, you're going to get beat. We all do. We all give up a play. And that's, y'all all know you got to be able to real quick. I got to lock this dude down. And it's going to come in all different ways, and I mean, it's just keep staying strong, stay positive, keep good people around you and know, things gets better. And for me, it's a higher source and a higher power has something planned for you. And that's kind of like been strong for me, especially going from, supposed to be drafted in mid rounds to tearing my pec and going undrafted. Like, it's easy to get down, get sad, and feel like, why me? At the end of the day, I mean, everything happens for a reason. It's big for me, and I had great people around me, and then people that reassured me and helped me look out on life and be like, dang, look how blessed I am, even through the adversity and good things are to come.
What's the biggest or hardest thing you had to adjust to in the NFL?
I mean, for me personally, it was the locker room. Once I got on the field at IU, I mean, everybody was cool with me because they see all you to play. So it don't matter kind of your personality if you don't like to go out, this and that. But going to the NFL locker room is different. Shoot, at the end of the day, everybody go home to families, their separate place. I mean, I live 10 minutes from our facility when I was in Chicago. But other guys, I know guys live an hour away from the facility, like 30 minutes. So, like, everybody going their separate ways. So it's really hard to get to know everybody. And then you got to think, some of them guys 33, 34, those grown men. I mean, they was going to middle school and I was just being born. So it's like a lot different for me. But for me, that was the hardest part, honestly. Not even playing is just like, you know, when you came from high school to college, like in the summer, you was like, oh, it's a little faster. But then after a couple weeks, a month, you was like, cool, like I got this, I'm fast. Like you learn, you start to pick it up, you understand it. But for me, it was definitely just trying to find my place within the team and in the locker room setting.
Yeah. So what's like the atmosphere like out like during game day and stuff like that? Like what's the atmosphere like around the locker room or in the stadium, things like that?
You want to take it, Mike?
Yeah, I'll take it. Honestly, it's very similar to college. Man, everybody be in their own zone. Everybody got their headphones in, and at the end of the day, we still playing a kid's game. Something we've been playing all our life. So, like I said, you know, everybody gonna have their nerves and their pregame rituals and they whatever they do to make them get in their zone and get in their moment. So honestly, man, from high school to the NFL, that never really changed for me. I kept some of the same pregame rituals and kind of did some of the same things as far as stretches or jogging around, taking a lap in the stadium before every game. So honestly, like I said, the vibes, really, like I said, it depends on the organization on how the vibes be in the locker room before the game. Like some let you play music, some make you put headphones in because some guys might not like the music that's being played. But like I said, honestly, it's very similar to college. Say everybody be in their zone, and when it's time to go to war, we trying to accomplish the same thing, get the W.
I got a quick question for you. Two things. Number one, and I don't want to hold you guys late because you guys doing a good job, but how about you give these guys a starting off on a after you play a game on Sunday, because it's a little bit different. Just go through a weekly schedule. So Sunday you play, all right, and just go all the way to the next Sunday so they can just see kind of the flow of what you guys do.
Yeah, I'll start it off. So basically Sunday we play. Once the game over, of course, you're free to go. Your family hang out. Monday morning we come in usually for recovery type stuff. If you injured in the game, you got to report it or you get fined. So you come in and get massage.
What time is that, Mike, typically?
Typically they let you sleep in a little. So typically I say team mean to be 10 a.m. So they'll let you sleep in a little bit. So team mean to be 10 a.m. Then honestly, probably have some quick little game film. Probably watch that for about an hour or so. Then win or loss, they throw that in the trash and it's on the next week. We get the game plans and reviews for next week, the scouting reports. You get a whole new binder for say we playing such and such next week. And then you probably have meetings and a walkthrough, and then you out of there by honestly.
Yeah, overtime. You out of there by when?
Probably 1 to 2 p.m. at the latest. So it's probably 3-4 hour day at Monday.
Okay.
Tuesday you're completely off. Nothing mandatory. You can come in. They of course they want you to maybe come in for cold tubs and hot tubs and do stuff like that. But as far as meetings and on the field, pretty much none of that's allowed. And then Wednesday is usually, it really depends on the organization. Some Wednesday practice are the toughest for some organizations, and for other organizations, Thursday is the tough day. But usually that, say for the Giants, my first few years in the league, Wednesday we were kind of in shells. And later in the season, there was no shoulder pads. But say for instance, on Wednesday we'll do probably a quick hour and a half practice. Just go over maybe I say first and second down, pass and run. And then on Thursday it'll be that hump day. It was from week 1 to week 17. It was about 2 hours and 45 minutes. So everything you can think of. Then Friday will be a walkthrough. And then Saturday it'll be kind of similar to what we did at IU the day before the game. When I was there anyway, we had like a little faster pace practice the day before the game for about 45 minutes. then basically you just fly out or you go home and chill with the family and go to the team hotel, which is kind of similar to college.
Yeah, I mean,
Fant.
yeah, I mean, same. Only thing I might get is probably the same. He didn't mention it though, but that Wednesday, Thursday, long days too. You might, even if you don't practice long meetings, boy, you don't leave till about 6:30, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
It's a long, like Wednesday and Thursday, some long days.
What time do you guys
just,
usually get in? So you stayed about 7 o'clock at night. What time do you guys usually get in?
if you injured, I know I had to get there at like 6:30.
Yeah, they about
treatment start at 6:30, so I'm there by 6:15, making sure, because you got to be able to eat. And then team meeting was usually 7:38. It got pushed back a little bit, like 8:30. If the later we got in the season, it would get you some sleep, kind of like I know IU coach does sometimes later in the season, give guys some extra rest. But yeah, during the season, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty long. If you got a cool coach, I mean, that was Coach Nagy's first year, and we're having a great season, so he kind of showed a lot of love to the guys. Preseason was probably the hardest because, I mean, there's so many guys. Games are quicker. You got to learn things really fast. You're still putting in defense. So, like, honestly, after games and preseason, we'd get that next day off. But you at the facility or you at the training where training camp is anyway. So you get that day off. You just chilling. Some guys went back to their house for a day. But then after that, you back and every day is shells or full pads and you getting at it, and that day before that game is like the chill day. And for more guys, you know, the guys who are undrafted, the young guys, even guys drafted that are rookies, it's more like, you know, you can see for them each week is more serious. And then you can tell your vets who kind of know, like, I'm on the team. I mean, you know, the starting quarterback, they'll be fine. All the starters, like, they ready for game day. You could tell, like, a lot of them just like, I'm chill throughout the week, you know, focused, and then game day come and it's like, all right, cool, I'm chilling, I'm gonna help the young guys out. And it's still, for that, like Mike said, depends the coach you get. Coach Nagy was really cool. I don't think our starters my first year played any preseason but like maybe 1 or 2 quarters, which is rare. A lot of times they at least play one full game, but you want to keep them fresh, keep them healthy, and let some of the young guys or some of the backups be able to show what they can do, because they know at the end of the season, long season, people go down, and Coach Shelby always preaches that to the corners. Somebody gonna go down. Somebody not gonna make it through this whole season. So the backups got to be ready.
The last little thing I want you guys to do is we talked about football, but then also too, I'll be remiss not to mention the importance of education, because at the end of the day, both of you guys have gone on and have played, and now that career could be, you know, in Mike's case, you think about maybe retiring, don't know yet. Fant, you've been kind of injured last couple of years, got to kind of get it going. But tell me about, you know, the degree and getting and finishing your education. Although everybody, you know, you hate going to class and all that type of stuff, but tell me, you know, like Mike, how old are you now? You've been playing the league for 5 years. How old are you now?
27. Just turned 27. Just turned 27.
Right, Fant, you've been in there a couple years. How old are you now?
25.
25. So talk about just kind of, because you guys were always good. You know, I never had to get on you guys about school, but you know, tell me kind of about, you know, now you guys looking back in education, and we'll kind of wrap it up. I'll ask you guys if you have any final questions, but you know, talk about that.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, Coach, it's very important. It's something that people or organizations or anybody in general could never take from you. I was the valedictorian of my high school, West Monroe High School, one of the biggest and prestigious high schools in West Monroe, and I mean in Louisiana in general. And to this day, I still get basically phone calls and people incentives, and people want me to be a part of their organization just because of that award that I got over 10 years ago. And like I said, when I got to IU, I always took my education serious. I graduated with like a 3.3, 3.4 GPA. So Coach Shelby, I was one of the guys, like I said, he didn't never really have to worry about me and Fant. So we was going, we took that serious. Just as much as we wanted to be dogs on the field, we wanted to be dogs in the classroom and make sure we get that education and lead there and make our family proud. So like Coach Shelby said, man, it'll be crazy not to get on this call and not talk about or mention education and just stress the importance of it and how important it is to man, even if you shoot leaving early, man, and you think you're gonna only be there for 3 years and you're gonna get an opportunity to go to the league early, man, try to find a way to get them hours pushed up and get that paper in your hand before you get out of there. But one of the cool things about IU, and then you got that lifetime thing, so you can always come back and finish it. And I think that's one of the best shoot things that any college I've ever heard of can ever offer, giving kids and basically investing in them for the rest of their life, honestly. And that's how I look at it. So with that being said, I'm actually almost done with my master's. I'm about 12 hours away from it. And, like I said, it's just some, not sure if I ever use it, but I think it'll look good, and it'll be at the end of my name. So Masters of Psychology, I think that sounds good. I feel like I could tell you something about your mind a little bit. But with that being said, like I said, man, it's very important to stress the importance and how pivotal that is to just make sure you get on top of it and get that paper before you leave college.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of Mike, it definitely is important. A lot of times, especially for our community as well, a lot of us first, second generation college students, so it wasn't a long history of us being able to having family members graduate, go to college. So at least getting that one degree, it's an IU degree, alumni base is second or third largest. So it's great to have people see you went to IU, and it's something like Mike said, they can't take away from you. And it gets hard. I feel you, especially after them Tuesday practices. I already know, you had that in the class that one right after practice finish, and it's hard to be in there. But just making sure whether you can leave early, declare for the draft, or even if you finish 4 years and you may have a couple, just finish it, one, because IU would pay for it. And even if something happens, NFL would pay for it if you're playing in the league. But the biggest thing I feel like is also you never know what could happen. I never imagined I would have my rookie year got hurt in the preseason practice and had an injury that's been going on for a year and a half. But the one thing, can't nobody take away my 2 degrees that I have. And the third one I'm going to get down the line. So that's for me. But just getting that 1 degree, it's extremely important. And it'll pay off. Even if you don't go into exactly what your degree was in, there's so many life lessons you learn. The people you're in the classroom, the professors that taught you, and the words you heard from them can take you a lifetime and take you into a lot of places and give you a lot of skills just to be prepared whenever life after football ends, whether that's after a 10-year NFL career or after a 1, or if you don't make it. But hopefully for you all, I hope you all make it. I've seen you all play, so I know you got a chance. And you got a Big Ten institution, so as long as y'all put it good tape on film, y'all be fine. But yeah, go ahead and make sure y'all walk away with that IU degree. You're gonna be able to use that. Trust me, when I was in Chicago, people stayed, they saw my license plate. You went to IU? Yeah. Oh man, okay, go Hoosiers. Like, yeah, we remember. So it's big. It helps a lot, and it's just something you never know who may be watching. It may not even be for a job. It may just be them wanting you to speak or come to an event.
Good deal. Let me open the floor one last time. These guys got families and stuff like that. About any other questions you guys want to ask? I think we had some big things, but just one opportunity to kind of get these guys when they're on the line.
I just got one more. Like, how do the workouts go? Like, as far as they're concerned, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you was with you was with the Giants. You had Coach Wellman, and he with us now. So, like, how'd that work out? And, like, how was he and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely, man. Coach Wellman, I ain't saying this just because IU, man. He probably the best in the business. Like I said, I've been to 4 different organizations and been through 4 different weight programs and a couple off season with different people. But man, Coach Wellman, as far as getting at IU and specializing in getting your body where it needs to be ready for game day, honestly, Coach gonna have y'all right, man. He fiery now, so he likes things done his way. But long as you doing it his way and getting after it and having fun and enjoying yourself, man, y'all gonna get a lot stronger, faster. And also he basically getting that mindset and nutrition right, man. He gonna for that first little meeting, he gonna hit you with probably about a 20-page nutrition book. If you go to McDonald's, this is what you need to eat. You go to Panda Express, this is what you need to eat. But man, it's for the best. So he's trying to work your body not only for strength and basically speed wise, but also for basically health and mindset. So like you said, he one of the best in the business, and I think y'all really gonna enjoy him.
But
Reese, Taiwan, anything?
No, I don't got nothing.
I appreciate y'all time though, and
yeah, for sure. Take that. I know y'all like that.
Mike, I get your number. Fan, I get your number too. But thank y'all, boys.
At the end of the day, man, I really appreciate y'all. I love you. You guys know that. And, you know, the same thing that I told Mike and Rashard, that at the end of the day, and the thing that I want you guys to know, I hold true to what I say. You know my 2 rules. Do what you say you're going to do and don't lie. I've been saying that since they were recruiting for the last 12 years. And anytime I ever told them I was going to do something, I did it. And they'll be the first one to tell you, we didn't always agree, but like family, always came back to the table. You know what I'm saying? We always came back to the table. And so you guys get to hear that and see that it's true. And you guys get the numbers and call them. You know, when those guys call me and ask me for something, I come through. And when they ask me for my advice, and even when I thought they weren't doing right, I call them and let them know. And at the end of the day, that's what it is doing. And then they always, in return, let me know as well. So they always looking out for you guys. And don't think for 1 second. Coach Allen had a alumni phone call with athletes on the deal. And guess who was there? Mike Hunter, checking it out. Rashard Fant, checking it out, seeing what y'all doing. I guarantee you on Saturday night, they're going to get on ESPN and see what the Hoosiers did. And so they were kind of the first people to, and this is the last thing I'll say too, these young men came to Indiana where we didn't have all this stuff. They didn't have no new locker room. They didn't have no Hoosier room. You know what I mean? And it was grimy up in there. You know what I'm saying? And they came here, and the reason why they look back is because they want you guys to respect, you know, kind of the path that they kind of drove through and the little things that you get. And when you guys get here, we're going to have some more stuff. And you're going to look back and say, man, these dudes support you, right? We all do that. And so it's a great deal for you guys to interact and call them, man. Call them. Use them, right? These guys are going to pick up. I appreciate you, love you. And you guys know you guys always hit me up if you need me.